Good afternoon. My name is Niko House, host of the political radio show Mikasa et Sukasa. And the Young Turks have shared their thoughts. Well, we've seen two different sides, but they've shared their thoughts on this DNC fraud suit. And I must say, not only do I disagree with them, but I'm a little disgusted by how much research they decided not to do. They had like 4 computers in front of them and all the transcripts, but decided they don't need that stuff. They're just going to shoot from the hip and hope they get it right. So, as most of you know, the DNC fraud suit has gained a lot of traction over the last 2 to 3 weeks. That's a great thing. Admittedly so, one of the networks that helped this lawsuit gain traction was the Young Turks, for better or for worse. And the reason I say this is because the DNC fraud suit was covered by them. John Ababa, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and I'm not going to try, even though this did, and a couple of lawyers. And they didn't do a very good job. I'm going to tell you why. Because they called Jared H. Beck, a good friend of mine, a good friend and a colleague of mine, an opportunist. They said that the people who are trying to get retribution for the DNC cheating actually are just, pissed off and looking for political acknowledgement, etc., etc. And probably the most significant assertion that they put forth was that simply because the Democratic Party is private, they can't be sued for taking money under false pretenses. Now, supposedly, a couple of people on the panels were lawyers. I don't actually know if this was true because they agreed with this assertion. Now, I don't know if they know exactly how law works, but you can't just tell people once you get established as a private entity. I don't care if it's an LLC, which is a limited liability, a limited liability corporation, a nonprofit, a sole proprietorship, or an incorporated entity. You can't just go around saying, I'm going to do this, give me money, and do something different. Now, when I break it down like that, it seems simple enough to understand, right? Because that's how the federal government protects us from predatory behavior. And in fact, ironically enough, the most common lawsuit of a nonprofit organization is breach of contract. Essentially, they create this charter saying that they're going to do one thing, but they don't do it. Now, it was very interesting because the Young Turks, we've had some interesting interactions as of late. And if you'd like me to elaborate on those, I will do so at a later time. But it struck me as interesting because with the fact that the Justice Democrats are a thing, which they really shouldn't be. No media conglomerate should be backing any party. They should never be personally invested in the success of a particular party, because then your morals are compromised and your thought process is little off the rails, as we've seen from the Young Turks as of late. But I don't get it, because you read the transcripts. You can't say, well, we know that private entities can't be sued for this type of stuff, when Jared, in the middle of the hearing, came out and provided several examples where no, in fact, you can't do that. In fact, the judge and the attorney agreed. A little bothersome. And it bothers me more because of their enormous outreach to progressives. And they've already spread lies like the whole Russia argument with no substantiation. Cenk literally said, he quoted the anonymous sources and said that was good enough for him. And that's all good for you. But we have some easily influenced minds, impressionable minds that watch you. Why? I don't know. I stopped watching you a long time ago. I watch you now specifically to figure out what kind of nonsense you're spreading. But nonetheless, people for some reason still think that you're entertaining. And you have a responsibility as a journalist, as a reporter, as a commentator, to be honest and objective, and most of all, informed. I understand we all mess up from time to time, but alleging someone is an opportunist for acknowledging something that we all know and that TYT refused to admit, you have never admitted that the DNC cheated Bernie Sanders. In fact, you even said in the tweet that the DNC did not steal the nomination from Bernie. Now, weirdly enough, your echo chamber of TYT, minus a few, shout out to Michael Tracy, your echo chamber of TYT has kind of been repeating this in one way or the other throughout the entirety of Trump's presidency, in the general election, and even now. Now, I'm wondering if it has something to do with the fact that you are personally invested in the success of the Democratic Party, and you are very much aware of how much money is on the line if we win this case. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Possibly. Cool. Nah. Maybe. Might be paranoid. Because it's just common sense. If you're private, you're incorporated, you're collecting money under false pretense, you can't do that. You should probably be sued. In fact, it's happened time and time again. So, what's up? What's up, TYT? Get it together. Get it together. Because you seem like you're kind of full of shit. Thank you very much for watching. And if you are available on Thursday, tune in to the Tim Black Show, because I will be on there making a special announcement. And, you know, we're going to talk about some things. So, have a good afternoon. Peace. And always remember, find your balance.